Greg was driving his Tesla Model 3 from work on the German Autobahn. Watch what happened when his Tesla was just 3 days old. While he was calmly driving in the right lane, suddenly a small sports car lost control and crashed into his car. That caused Greg to spin out into the barriers. The driver who crashed into him was using his phone while driving, and he was quickly found responsible for the collision. Sadly, his Tesla was totaled. Ben was coming home from the store on the highway. A Golf R flew past him in the right lane. Suddenly, a truck merged into that lane, causing the Volkswagen Golf to crash into it. The incident was recorded also by another Tesla that was driving ahead of Ben. The Volkswagen Golf driver was okay, and the semi-truck was found responsible. Peter, who works as a freelancer, was driving to his client due to some water pipe issue. As he was overtaking a semi-truck on the highway, it started merging into Peter's lane. He hit Peter without noticing, before he kept pushing his Tesla for another 100 yards. The semi-truck driver stopped after he felt that his truck was acting strange. That was the first time he saw the Tesla. Blind spots are very dangerous. George was driving his Tesla Cybertruck downtown. As he was approaching an intersection, his view was blocked by the left turning lane, full of vehicles. Once he entered the intersection, he got hit by an oncoming vehicle that was turning left. He then hit a traffic light pole before he came to a complete stop. The Cybertruck was totaled. Also, the oncoming vehicle was disabled after the collision. Max was driving down a highway with his new Tesla Model 3. He was heading to a business meeting in a city around 50 miles from his hometown. Suddenly, multiple vehicles ahead of him piled up. He managed to stop in time, avoiding a collision. Brad was driving his Tesla Cybertruck, heading to his mother. As he entered an intersection, he got T-boned by a Dodge Ram TRX. The Dodge Ram ran a stop sign before colliding with Brad. Both vehicles were disabled, and all airbags deployed in his Tesla. Aurelian was driving his Tesla Model 3 on a countryside road, traveling to another country for a trip. Suddenly, he got rear-ended by a Ferrari. The Ferrari was overtaking vehicles behind Aurelian before it lost control and rear-ended him. Both vehicles ended up in the field. Thankfully, both drivers only had minor injuries. Thomas was driving behind a Tesla Cybertruck in his new Model 3. As they were driving through the curve, an oncoming BMW M4 lost control and crashed into the Cybertruck. It was a severe collision since the BMW was sliding at approximately 54 miles per hour. Julian was driving in Italy downtown. He was enjoying his day when suddenly a Tesla ahead of him got hit by a vehicle that failed to yield. The vehicle ran a stop sign before it collided with the Tesla Model 3. The driver in the Tesla was okay, but the driver in the blue coupe had bad neck pain. He was transported to a hospital for a check and was released the same day. Mary was driving her sedan behind a blue Tesla. She was traveling to her boyfriend for Valentine's Day. As they approached an intersection, the oncoming semi-truck got rear-ended by another truck. That pushed the semi-truck into oncoming lanes, where it collided with the blue Tesla and Mary. Mary suffered neck and back pain with a dislocated wrist. The Tesla driver was protected by Tesla safety features, so unsurprisingly, he got out without injuries. Joseph was driving behind a Volkswagen Touareg in Poland. He just had his Tesla delivered in the morning, so he was enjoying his new car. As the Volkswagen slowed down to turn right, Joseph slowed down too. But as he did, he got rear-ended by a driver who wasn't paying attention. The driver was found at fault and was fined for texting and driving. Gregor was driving on the Utah highway in his Tesla when he was approached by two supercars. One of them was a McLaren, which overtook him. Then he was approached by a Porsche 911 GT3. They did a small drag race, but then the Porsche flew away. Shortly after, the Porsche lost control on the narrow road before it spun out and collided with an oncoming vehicle. Martin was driving in the mountains with a lot of ice and snow. He was talking with his wife on the phone when suddenly an oncoming Tesla lost control and spun out into the rocks. The Tesla driver was going too fast, and as he got on the icy terrain, his Tesla lost control and he couldn't regain it. The Tesla was totaled, but thankfully the driver was without injuries. Anton was driving home from a grocery store. He was approaching an intersection with stopped vehicles in the right lane, and out of nowhere, the vehicle that was driving in the right lane beside Anton rear-ended the stopped vehicles. Thankfully, he didn't cause any injuries to the driver in the red pickup. Anton didn't have much time, and after making sure everyone was okay, he continued his trip home. Victor was driving home in his almost golden Tesla, but it's more like a brown color, right? Suddenly, traffic slowed down due to a traffic collision in the right lane. As they slowed down, Victor got rear-ended by a pickup truck. His trunk was completely crushed, and he got pushed into the wrecked vehicles. The driver in the pickup suffered a broken wrist. He was treated at the scene before being taken to a hospital. Victor suffered a spinal injury and had his knee dislocated.